The Soybean School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Pride Seeds,
Ingenia Herbicide,
and Cruiser Max Vibrance Beans.
Welcome to Soybean School. I'm Bernard Tobin. Today we're going to talk about artificial intelligence and machine learning. More and more we rely on artificial intelligence and powerful computers to accumulate and process information to run our lives and our businesses, make us more efficient, make us do better. On this episode, we're going to discuss whether artificial intelligence can help us grow a better soybean crop. And for that conversation, we are heading to Wisconsin to talk to Shawn Conley. He is the University of Wisconsin-Madison Soybean Extension Specialist. Hi, Shawn. Hey, thanks for stopping by.
You bet, Bernard. Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Hey, Shawn, let's start this conversation with a research trial you're doing this year. You are running trials looking at how growers manage their soybeans compared to management recommendations by artificial intelligence. Tell us what you're up to.
Yeah, Bernard, that's a good question. So over the last probably 8 years, we've been amassing this ginormous database of data. We started out on the soybean side. So basically we have all the variety testing data from the entire country of the United States in this database. It's probably over the last 20 years. Then we started adding in all the agronomic trials, row spacing, planting date, seeding rate, fertility. So this has all been accumulated in this database. Now what we're trying to do is look at, can we use machine learning tools to be able to predict on a field-by-field basis what farmers should be doing on a specific field.
So, Shawn, looking at your protocol, it looks like you've got a grower growing one trial based on his own recommendations and his own sort of practices. And beside it, you've got two AI trials, one for yield, one for profitability. Talk about how it comes together.
Yeah, so what we're really trying to look at, Bernard, is the farmers are going to do what they're going to do. They have their own experiences on their farms, on specific fields. And what we're trying to do is once we be able to get like the GPS locations for a specific field, we can suck in all the historical weather data, all the soils data, and then using our machine learning approach, we could predict what practices farmers could do to maximize yield on that section of land, and in today's markets and maximum profitability. So that might not always be the highest yield per se, but the maximum profitability. So that's what we're just trying to do in this first year, is see if we can break the tool or to see if it actually works. And then hopefully over time we'll keep building it and make it into a place where farmers can upload their own data for free, run the model in the background, and then try it on their own farm. So that's maybe looking 5-8 years down the road. But in the first place, we're just saying, does this type of machine learning tool work for farmers? And can we make accurate predictions, or are we just full of hooey?
Yeah. Hey, tell me a little bit more about your artificial intelligence. I'm trying to figure out what growers are up against. And, you mentioned, obviously, growers can use, soil type, soil history, a host of agronomic data. But how formidable is that database that your AI is drawing on, when you compare it to, what an average grower would maybe consult?
Right. So using our model, we can run like 1 million different iterations. So that's kind of what we have. We have the capacity to look at, because if you start looking at all these things that farmers can do on their farm, spray a pre-emergence herbicide only, increase their seeding rate, change their row spacing, change their fertility level, change their planting date. And if you put all those, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 interactions, you multiply that together, there's 1 million different scenarios that we can play out on using this machine learning technology, and then again just try to apply it to that farmer, so he doesn't have to go through those million of years, because most farmers only got 30 to 40 years. So hopefully we can run it and at least give them some advice to improve the profitability or yield, whatever they're looking for.
Yeah. Now, what about in-season management decisions, Shawn? Fungicide timing, spraying, for example. I'm assuming your AI is going to be plugged into some very timely databases.
Right, exactly. So that's one of the other things we're trying to break as well, is making these, because obviously when we first make the decisions, we make it in March, April, and then we have to keep rerunning it as we inform the model about what's going on in that, that farmer's field. So that's part of the background and we're looking at this year is, how accurate can that be as making these in-season decisions? Because, like you said, it might be a drought. Well, we're going to pull this out. Or, soybean aphids are out there. We have to, apply an insecticide. So that's one of the things we're actually testing too, is the in-season availability of how accurate this model can be.
Now, I'm assuming you've seen the management systems that the AI has been recommending. Have you noticed any differences compared to, growers' management plans?
It depends, because obviously what we're trying to do is we're trying to tailor it to be site specific. And, a lot of the times, Bernard, is, we make these recommendations as an agronomist for, a whole farm. So there's 2,000 acres where this AI is trying to make it for individual fields. So that's a little bit of a difference there. And I've seen some things that are really weird, to tell you the truth. I'm like, well, I wouldn't do that. But, the AI is doing it. This is an experiment. Let's test it and see if it's accurate or, the model's bad. And, all models are, inherently flawed. You just have to keep working your way through it till you figure out how to fix it till you keep the errors to a minimum, if you will.
Hey, has there been much work done in this area, Shawn, and other crops that you know of? Anything you can draw on?
No, actually. So we're actually doing it not just in soybean, but we've been building a corn database as well. So we were able to get funding to try it on the corn side. So as a soybean agronomist working in corn, I feel a little dirty, but that's okay. Farmers grow half beans and half corn. So we're going to try it there. And then if this continues to work, we'll expand it up to other crops. I don't think, if you look at it, I'm sure this is what Bayer is doing and what Corteva is doing, in the background. I don't, because that's all proprietary. I don't know what they're doing. They won't tell me. They won't let me look behind the curtain, if you will. But I think if this is able to work, and then we can just provide a tool for farmers that's free, or maybe if not free, minimum to use, because obviously there's going to be some uptake to keep the computers and models running. I think this is be an opportunity for farmers then to share data, free of charge. I'm not going to sell it. I don't get any benefit out of it. I'm not making a profit on what they're doing. And then they can be able to use this tool as a collective to improve yield, profitability, but sustainability as a whole. So I think it's going to be a win-win for growers if we can get it to work.
Awesome. Well, hey, Shawn, fascinating work. We look forward to seeing how you do. Maybe we'll see you up here in Canada later this year or next year to tell us about it. How about that?
I hope so. I'm a little disappointed down here because I only get to watch Letterkenny like 2 seasons behind you all up there, and I'm missing out because they always block it from me. So I want to see it in person.
Well, we know some people. We think we can look after you. Hey, thank you so much for taking the time.
Excellent. Thanks, Bernard. See everybody.